Could you describe in detail a particular scenario or incident where you utilized your own philosophy on leadership? You had mentioned risk-taking earlier, and I'm not going to put examples, but I mean, you worked with the merger, the airport expansion, Operation Brightside. I could go on.
I think the airport's probably the biggest.
Okay.
You know, when you have to tell 4,000 people that you're relocating them, when you have to tell 38 businesses that you're relocating them, something like 8 or 9 churches and 2 or 3 schools, you better have your ducks in a row. You better understand the facts, you better understand the opportunities, you better understand the risk, and you better have narrowed that risk as close as you can to button down to ensure that if you're going to throw that kind of wrench into the lives of people, you've got to make sure that you're doing what's right. And I can't tell you the amount of time that I spent agonizing over yes, no. But once we made the decision, then every night for weeks on end, I went out to the neighborhoods that were affected.
Sure you did.
And answered questions and engaged people on their emotional concerns, as you can imagine. A lot of people had wanted to sell their homes but never could get anybody to buy them because of the noise and the fumes and everything by the airport. A lot of other people just wanted to be left alone and didn't want to sell, and here we were going to take their homes. That was by far I think the most important decision we made, and I spent an enormous amount of time garnering the facts. You know, I remember, for example, they kept saying, well, we can't have cross runways, we've got to have parallel runways. And I said, LaGuardia's got cross runways. I mean, what are you saying? Well, LaGuardia is an airport in New York City where people get off. And if we're going to have UPS, and as important at that time was if we're ever going to be a hub where people fly in, mix up, and fly out, got to have parallel runways.
Okay.
And so, it was those kinds of things that I had a lot of questions. But we had a lot of expertise that gave us guidance, and it worked out well. And I think now most people would say it was probably the most important decision. Think where we would be today without those jobs. Same thing with going up to Dearborn and talking to Ford when I thought that, as they were getting done with the Rangers, then what was going to happen? Were they going to close it down? And then we moved into the Explorers, and then what happened? And then the truck plant came online, and I can't tell you the number of times and the number of governors that I flew to Dearborn to meet with the Ford Motor people time and again. And look what's happened. I mean, 8,000, 9,000 Ford folks. And GE, as over the years, as it evolved into what it is today, all those major employers, Humana, which was, a nursing home company, and then it was a hospital company, and then it evolved and changed into an insurance company. Brown-Forman, one of the outstanding corporate citizens we have in Louisville, working with them for support for their efforts. So economic development was very important at that time, and continues.
And it was before merger, so you had to deal with the county as well.
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
That was exactly right. I mean, the great story I love to tell about that is when Yum Brands decided to come. At the time, it was called Tricon.
Right.
Governor Patton, County Judge Armstrong, and I made a pitch to have them come here. They came, and I get a call from the CEO of the company who said, I thought we were in Louisville. And I said, well, you are. And they were looking at the property behind where the KFC office is, where they were going to build a new major center. And he said, well, my people are telling me that half this piece of land is in the city and half's in the county, and we need different certificates of occupancy and different sign-offs from plumbing and electrical. What are you doing? I said, don't worry, you're in Louisville, we'll get it done. We got our crew together and we got it resolved. And that was one of the real examples I gave time and again about the importance of having one government for our one community.
So it's your fault that when my wife orders Amazon packages, they show up the next day?
Yeah.
Because she's really good at that, folks. Well, it's unbelievable.